Good morning, children. Welcome to your English class. Today, we are going to continue with the reading of our chapter, Malakoff. By the end of this video, you will be able to narrate the story in your own words, understand the meanings of difficult words and phrases in the context of this chapter, and answer the related questions. So children, today we are going to read page 69 and 70. Before we start with reading, let me give you a quick recapitulation of what we had done yesterday. Yesterday we had read that Malakoff was a very huge Newfoundland dog. He was a watchdog of a Parisian jeweler. The jeweler loved him a lot. Malakoff was very good with others, but not with Jax, who was one of the workers in the jeweler's shop. Malakoff did not like Jax because once Jax had hit him. So Jax, along with his friends, made a plan to kill Malakoff. So they took him near a river, tied a huge stone around his neck and threw him into the river. Because Malakoff was a huge dog, he pulled the stone along with him, struggled and reached ashore. Now open your English literature books, Roots and Wings, at page number 69. Now let's continue reading. Besides, they hadn't noticed, they here means Jack's friends, that Jax had also fallen into the river. They thought he had run away, just like them, from the scene of the crime. Underline from the scene of the crime and write down अपराध के दृश्य से. Malakoff realized that his attacker, Jax, was drowning. Drowning means submerged in water. Jax didn't know how to swim, so he panicked. Panic means affected by a sudden overpowering fear and began to sink in the water. Underline to sink in the water, pani mein doobne ko. Now children, in these two paragraphs we read that Jack's friends ran from there and didn't notice that Jax was not with them. They might have thought that Jax too had run away from the scene of crime like them. In the meantime, Malakoff realized that Jax was drowning into the river as he didn't know how to swim. So children, why did Jack's friends run away? Jack's friends ran away because they had seen someone coming towards the river and they didn't want to be accused of killing the dog. Why did Jack's friends not save Jax when he was drowning? Jack's friends thought that he too had run away. They did not know that Jax was in the river. What do you mean by scene of crime? Jax and his friends had thrown Malakoff into the river so that he drowns and dies. So this is called scene of crime. Now let's continue reading. Malakoff saw this. He turned and swam back towards Jax. Despite the heavy weight, despite means in spite of, around his neck, Malakoff swam, panting and straining to where the man struggled. Panting means breathing with short, quick breaths. Straining means forcing to make an unusually great effort. Now who's the man here? The man is Jax. In desperation, desperation means hopelessness. The man grabbed Malakoff's fur. By now, too weak to pull the man, underline to pull the man, आदमी को खींचने के लिए. To the shore, in the strong cross current, Malakoff struggled with all his might just to tread water. Tread means to move on or proceed as if on foot, with both the weight of the stone and the panicky man. In the meantime, the friends realized that Jax was not with them. They went back to the river bank, underline to the river bank and write down Nadi ke kinare ki taraf. There they heard the cries of the drowning man. Underline of the drowning man, डूबते हुए आदमी का, and the weak barks of the dog. Here dog is Malakoff. Quickly they jumped into the river and rescued the dog and the man. Here rescued means saved from dangerous situation. Malakoff had managed to keep himself and Jax afloat for a long time. Afloat means float in water without sinking. So children, in this paragraph we read that Malakoff saw Jax drowning into the water. So he turned and swam back towards Jax and tried to save him. In the meantime, his friends realized that Jax had not come. So they went back to the river bank and rescued Jax and Malakoff. Malakoff had managed to keep himself and Jax afloat for a long time. So children, who saved Jax? Malakoff saved Jax. Why did Jax's friends go back to the river? Jax's friends went back to the river when they realized that Jax was not with them. Now let's continue reading. Once the man and dog were both safely on shore, the remorseful apprentice, remorseful means feeling or expressing pain or sorrow for sins or offenses, threw his arms around the great Newfoundland and wept. Wept means cried, as he begged the dog's forgiveness. The story of the heroic dog, heroic means very brave, spread throughout Paris. Malakoff became such a symbol of valor, valor means fearlessness, that when he died, nearly every apprentice in Paris followed his funeral procession. Funeral procession, funeral is burial or death ceremony and procession is parade or march. So children, in this paragraph, Jax realized his mistake and hugged Malakoff and wept as he begged for his forgiveness. The story of Malakoff, the heroic dog, spread throughout Paris, and Malakoff became a symbol of bravery, and when he died, nearly every apprentice in Paris followed his funeral procession. So children, why did Jax hug the dog? Jax hugged the dog because he had realized his mistake and wanted the dog's forgiveness. Where did the story of heroic dog spread? The story of the heroic dog spread throughout Paris. Who became the symbol of valor? Malakoff became the symbol of valor. Who followed Malakoff's funeral procession? Every apprentice in Paris followed Malakoff's funeral procession. I hope that you all have understood this chapter. Now, revise all the back exercises and question answers of this chapter, Malakoff. Thank you.